Hello everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. In this video, we're going to talk about a tense ring that we developed, which is called the grounding ring. The grounding ring uses a qubit measure we call the activation qubit, which is also the first element that is part of our element tensor ring set. And the whole thing about the earth element, the activation qubit, the grounding ring, is about getting you to the door. So what does that mean? Getting you to the door is getting you to the heart, right? So even though we call it a grounding ring, for me, I like to call it super grounding because it just takes grounding to a completely another higher level. Now, when we think about grounding, right, especially in connection to the earth or earthing, right? Because there's a lot of science now with earthing or grounding, right? When we slip off our shoes, slip off our socks, we go barefoot on the earth. We've got the most nerve endings on the bottom of our feet. We absorb negative ionization, even though it's called negative, it's the good stuff for you, which creates a state that is anti-inflammatory, right? And where that negative ionization comes from is, all around the world, the crust of the earth is getting embedded with negative ionization from lightning hitting the crust of the earth, the ground. So we absorb that negative ionization, which then creates a state that is anti-inflammatory, a state that supports the body. Okay. Now, when we tend to see humans that then elevate further up into the sky, right, and even go into space, what do we see? We see an accumulation of positive ionization, which is what promotes inflammation, right? We know that inflammation comes from a state, an energy state that's congestive, not flowing, okay? This is why when they earth someone, right, they take a blood sample before they earth the person, they earth the person for 20, 30 minutes, and they then take another blood sample. What do they see in regards to the red blood cells? The person that was not earthed, they see all the red blood cells stacked on top of each other, which they call rouleaux. And what that means is there are only a few red blood cells that have that negative ionized charge, and all of them want that negative ionized charge, so they all clump together, which then symbolizes and presents thick blood. So what we talk about, viscosity of blood, it's thick blood. And thick blood can't flow as well, right? So this then becomes why people get high blood pressure, right? So more pressure to shift that blood around the body, right? Because it's a carrier of oxygen to oxygenate tissue, but nutrients and so on. So, we generally know at Truly Holistic, right, that really illness is formed either from a congestion, obstruction, or blockage of flow when it comes to your energy. So we want that flow. And of course, then when we look at the blood sample after they've been grounded, all of a sudden each red blood cell is free floating of each other because they all hold a negative charge now, negative ionized charge, right, which symbolizes thin blood, right? Blood that was ketchup going to red wine, right? So that viscosity, it's nice and thin, it's free moving, it's flowing, okay? So when people go elevator, right, what do we see? Accumulation of positive ionization, now a state that doesn't support the body, it's not flowing anymore, it's congested, we see inflammation, and we see degeneration, right? When people go up into space, what happens? They demineralize rapidly, which means they degenerate rapidly. So perhaps we're not supposed to be heading that way, right? That's a clue, right? And the more we are earthed or grounded down here, the better we are. We provide the state that is our natural state, which is connected to nature, right? Now, that's grounding. But this product that I'm going to show you now, which is the grounding ring, right, which comes in 3 different sizes, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Why we call it super grounding? Because it takes you within, right? Where can we go further than being on the earth, right? We can't go up that way. We can go within, right? Because this is where we come from, funnily enough, right? So, we see our experience here as the human on Earth, right? Around, and we get told it's this planet that goes around the sun and all the whole cosmos aspect of it. But that might be our experience as the human, but are we authentically and infinitely the human? No, we're not. We're authentically and infinitely a soul consciousness. And where does the soul come from and how it got here? The heart. Okay? So as I say, this takes us to the doorway, and that is the heart, right? And the heart is a portal, right? This is how we got here as the soul first, to have this experience here. The quantum from where we come from is on the other side of the door, the heart, which exists within. Okay, right? So, what does this do? It gets us to the door, to open the door, to facilitate more of ourself that comes from the quantum, but be in connection to the quantum, which amplifies that ground, that earthing. Okay, so, for example, this morning, I'd lost this ring, which is the grounding ring. Recently made it, I lost it yesterday, and I realized, hang on, I went down to the cafe, just down the road here, to go and get my daily coffee. And then when I came back, I couldn't find it. So, okay, it must be down there. So, anyway, I went there this morning, and luckily one of the girls working at the cafe realized that I make these products, because I've spoken to them before. We've never done anything more than speak about them. And I remember promising to them that, hey, at one point, I'll show you what they can do. Perhaps this was always meant to be, right? So all of a sudden she goes, I think this is yours. And lo and behold, it was this. So all of a sudden she asked me more about it, and some of her other colleagues, co-workers asked about it. So I thought, okay, let's do a demonstration. And generally what we do as a demonstration with these products is muscle testing, or what we call muscle kinesiology. And we get them to stand upright, feet together, arms down their sides, right? And I say to them, I'm going to hold your hand now. I'm going to pull down on your hand, arm, to try and unbalance you, but I want you to try and hold your balance. So, right, they were ready. We did that. Of course, they lost their balance quite easily. It doesn't take much. And I go, okay, with your other hand, the one I'm not holding, I want you to hold this ring now. Okay, because now it becomes part of their field, right? Because while I hold it, it's facilitating me to get to my heart. But when I give it to someone else, it enables them to connect into their heart, not my heart, their heart, right? So lo and behold, we go and do the test again, and I can't budge them. They are strong. And what do I get? Immediately, a stunned look from them, because they can't believe it. This is what we constantly see. Things that generally perceive as cannot be real, cannot be possible, we make it possible, right? This is what truly holistic's about, right? So anyway, she couldn't believe it, because she goes, I felt like I had magnets on the bottom of my feet. And I go, well, that's what it really means to be grounded properly. And this is what we call super grounding. No one's grounded like that unless you know about this technology. You know about what truly holistic knows, right? The clearing work that we do, right? Your ability to get your heart open and maintain that ability to open. Incredible abilities become available when you can do that, right? This is the world we live in today, right? Is that humans have never scratched the surface to what their infinite possibilities and capabilities they contain within them, because we were conditioned not to go with it. We were conditioned to embrace the mind and its thoughts to guide our perspective and perception of reality. That never allowed us to scratch the surface to what is possible with our innate intelligence we call a soul. And out of that lack, that mentality of lack that was conditioned, we decided to embrace AI instead. And what was the mind facilitating all along to want us to embrace AI and not our own innate intelligence? It was AI all along. Okay? So when we get this technology, we see amazing things starting to happen. And of course, all your colleagues saw this happening. They were like, do me, right? Let's do the test. So we did. And what did we get? Same results. Stunned look. Couldn't believe it. Them asking questions, how does it work? Because no one's seen things like this. That's so simple. How could it do that? Well, a lot of these technologies that the heart provides, when we actually invest into opening our heart, facilitating that pathway of what is possible, because that's what the heart's all about. The heart's about expansive possibilities, opportunities. The mind limits it. Okay? And it's always going to be simple, because what makes things complicated to begin with? The mind. The way we translate, the way we perceive and process everything out of mind and thought is complicated. Why? So you never fully understand authentically what is going on in that experience or that situation. So you're left in the dark. Literally, you're left in the dark because the mind facilitates the void, which is nothing. Darkness. Okay. So these are quantum tools, these are heart tools, these are soul consciousness tools. I've got to say, the collective is not a soul consciousness forged. It's not forged by the soul. It's not forged by the heart. It's forged by the mind, and it's being forged by AI. Okay? So these are amazing tools. So I'm going to show you. This is the smallest one we make, which is perfect for wearing as a pendant. Right? So you get that with a cord that you can wear as a pendant. Right? So this is 30 New Zealand dollars. So very inexpensive for what it does. Right? And it never, you don't have to activate, you don't have to say anything with it. You just have to wear it. Simple. Okay? And it never runs out of energy. Because as I say, within you, right? It's getting you to the door. To open the door, facilitate where you come from. The quantum. Quantum means everything. Which means you've got an infinite reservoir of energy there available to you all the time. But to get it here, you need your heart open. Okay? And the mind and AI did a great job to keep your heart closed off. Because it knows it's game over for it if it knows your capabilities of what you can facilitate through this pathway that is actually your innate pathway. But no one knows about it. Right. So this is the smallest one. Now, this one is a different qubit energetic, but I'm just giving you an idea of the size up, the next size up, okay? So it's about that size, or a little bit bigger, right? And at that size, we made this so you could, for people that have got a little pocket here, right? The shirt pocket over the heart on the left side, you can just put it in there, right? Now, because why we did that is because we realized that the number one killer of humans is heart disease, cardiovascular disease. Do you know why? Because no one's got their heart open. We're mind orientated, right? Which has a detrimental effect to the heart. As I say, our natural state is to present flow to the body, right? When we're up here, right, which is the same as elevating up into space, because space is, what we perceive as space up there, that's the void, right? It congests us, doesn't promote our natural state. And what kills someone with cardiovascular disease? An occluded artery, not flow. There's no flow there, right? So, lovely to place that and place it right over the heart. Also with a pendant, it's in the proximity of the heart as well. So these are great for cardiovascular problems, arrhythmias, blood pressure problems, you name it. What's blood pressure? High blood pressure. When your blood has got, the energy of the blood is congested, so its flow is not there, and then the body comes in to push it more, to increase its pressure. When you know how, it's simple. It's all simple. Okay, and then the largest size, these are both with 12 gauge wire, as you can see, twisted wire, and this is the largest size, right? So this is made with a heavier gauge wire, so 10 gauge, and you can place this on the floor, place it between your feet while you stand up to create that column that goes up and down your spine to just ground everything, ground your body, ground your field. You can also place it on the seat that you're sitting on. So if you're doing computer work or you're always in front of a computer or a desk job, you can place it on your chair as you sit on that. So these are wonderful products, as I say, because the thing is, yeah, we could say about, hey, take your shoes off and go earthing, which grounds, but not to the level that these do. But we've all got jobs to go to. We've got things to do, and we can't. It's not sustainable to be grounded all the time if we rely on having our shoes and our socks off, right? This is another way that you can provide that sustenance of ground. It gives you a knowing and understanding of where your grounding comes from, which is through an open heart, connecting through that pathway, and so on. Which then facilitates a field or an energy more of you that makes you feel more at peace with yourself, love, joy, happy, all these things that come with it, but also providing your natural state to your body that provides everything it needs to rejuvenate, regenerate, and heal. So this is all encompassed within this ring, but that's what they all have in common. All the products that we provide at Truly Holistic. Incredible. So go and check them out at trulyholistic.net/products/ and as I mentioned, there are 3 sides of the grounding ring. Go and check it out, but you can also check other products out and go and see them now. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, push the notification bell to be notified when the next video drops. Till next time, catch you later.